Hey everyone, how's it going? Pixel saying in today's video, I'm doing sort of a news roundup from this week of Evil Dead the game. So there's been a few things going around, there's a few comments from Saber, there's a few rumors about a certain studio getting shut down, and there's been a few tweets that happened last night after my stream that I want to go over as well. So I thought I'd just compile it all into one video and just go over it all. So the first one obviously was the Russian comment that we got. You've probably heard me talk about this in my streams. You'll hear about me talking about it in my podcast later on today that I will release for everyone. But basically, we got a Russian comment on this social media website. If you type in like Russian VK, you'll find it on Google, and you go on the Saber Interactive page, and we get a bit of a condescending reply saying that people were asking if they sold the game off to another studio in the US, and then Saber replied saying, don't believe the rumors, we will tell you our plans when we're ready, basically, about the game. So it does feel very condescending that, there's not like I think punctuation is very important. I do go over this in my podcast later today that you'll hear, but I think punctuation is very important to feel like you're being enthusiastic to your player base, and oh yeah, we'll share our plans when we're ready, can't wait to share our plans, or something along those lines, just to show some enthusiasm about updating the game. However, because it's translated from Russian to English, it can be quite, it might not seem so condescending in Russian compared to how it would sound in English, so just bear that in mind. However, probably a month ago or so, someone else did put a Reddit post out asking if they were going to put an update in the game, and they did reply. This was actually an English reply as well, and then they did say we will share our plans when we're ready, or when we have some information or whatever, and full stop again. So at least we're hearing something, but again, they definitely have to work on their communication there. However, now there's another rumor going around, and you probably heard this from Wheezy as well, in one of his videos. If you follow Wheezy F Mamba, he's been kind of getting his tinfoil hat out. I joined him in his streams a couple of times with this as well, trying to figure out like what's going on about the game. And he found out or heard from a source, I'm not sure how reliable they are, who he heard it from, but they said that Saber US is shutting down, or it has been shut down as of the 14th of July. And I can see that being the case, to be honest. There's like two sides of this. So it makes sense if they shut down, the Embracer Group thing going around. Apparently stuff like that's not going to be getting announced until like October time, when their first phase of like the restructure goes through. So if there's like an announcement going around for that very soon, we'll have to wait and see. However, there is some evidence to back it up as well. The screenshot contest they did, so they wanted everyone from the community to input their screenshots to win a contest with bragging rights on a Discord and earn a Discord role. So that was on the 30th of June, and now it is the 21st of July. And they said when they did the 30th of June, when they did the contest, they said we'll announce the winners like next week, which would have been the start of July. So we still haven't really heard who the winners are. They haven't announced that. They've just gone completely quiet about that as well, which is just absolutely crazy. And like to kind of back up the rumors about Saber US potentially shutting down, it can go hand in hand there. However, there could be just something going on with the community manager side of things, like maybe they're changing community managers, or just changing things up around there, because I would find it very hard to believe that Saber US's main headquarters are in the US. Like they are in Fort Lauderdale. So that's the studio that covers World War Z updates. I think they cover the SnowRunner updates. I think they're working on Knights of the Republic remake. You don't know what projects they're actually working on, but they have so many different studios around the world. It would be a bit weird that their main studio closes down. Space Marine 2 as well, if they're making Space Marine 2 there. So you can take some of that with a grain of salt. You don't know. At the end of the day, it's just rumors, so you don't know what to believe. But yeah, there was some information that I heard. I'm not going to share in this video that could also back up Saber US shutting down. I heard a few things behind the scenes there, but even that was a bit... the information I got was not concrete, and it was very vague. So again, that could have just been for that individual in particular, or it could have just been something to do with the entire studio. But I really don't know. But like I said, to me, it just wouldn't make sense that Saber US closed down when they have, you know, Saber Porto, Saber Madrid, that actually did work on Evil Dead the game. They've got Saber Russia, you know, they're all over the world. They've got loads of game studios. It makes sense for their subsidiary companies to close down before their main headquarters close down. So, the concrete information we know right now, and what, you know, I heard from a developer, and that is a reliable source because it is someone who worked on Evil Dead the game from Saber Madrid. He doesn't work on the game anymore, and the game got shifted to the US studio. That is a fact. And that is, like, obviously not a rumor. So again, we'll have to wait and see what happens there. So if that's the case, that the game moved to Saber US, then Saber US is closing down. It could see the game shifting hands yet again to like Saber Russia, or potentially Saber dropping it to one of their other subsidiaries that they own of game companies like Tripwire Interactive, Aspire Media, something like that. That would be fantastic. And, you know, there's a lot of pros and cons to that, you know, having fresh eyes on the game, or, you know, people just totally, you know, given a fresh outlook on the game as well. The cons to that, obviously, they didn't work on the game originally, and, you know, they could mess it up. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. It would be very weird, you know, moving the game to another studio. They have to catch up, you know, they have to figure out what's happening with the player base, you know, the requests from the fans. And right now it just feels like a horrible mess, and I really hope they just figure it out. And, you know, moving on to what we got yesterday from the tweets was that the game finally put a Twitter post out saying, "We're thrilled to announce Evil Dead the game has been nominated for the Best Horror Multiplayer Award category in Fear Fest 2023's Horror Game Awards hosted by Feardemic. Vote for us at the link to show your support and stay groovy." So I will be voting for them, and I encourage you guys to vote for them. I know you guys don't, you know, use it in a bad mood with the game about the updates and stuff, but this could actually be a really good thing for the game, because if they win the award, it could spur the studio on to actually do something, you know, not out of spite of being like, oh, well, you guys aren't updating the game, I'm not gonna vote for them. I will be voting for them. And to be honest, looking at the games in the same category, it is the best like horror multiplayer game out of that category. You know, you've got like Dead Island 2 there, I think Outlast Trials is in there, Sons of the Forest. It's a bit of a weird setup that's in that category, and to be honest, I think Evil Dead the game's probably is like the only horror multiplayer almost in that category. So I recommend you guys vote for it. Hopefully they can win it, and like I said, it might spur the studio on to actually get something into the game. So do it for yourselves, don't do it for the studio. That's the way I'm saying it. So it makes sense that way to do that. And I've already put my vote in. I will do is pin the comment where you guys can go and vote for Evil Dead the game at the Game Awards, so they can potentially win that, and that might actually do something for the game, for us. Okay, not for Saber. Don't have that for Saber. Don't put it in mind that you're doing it for Saber. Do it for yourself. Do it for the game, and to see the game move forward. Okay, and so then we're going to move on to the Tim Willits tweet. So the Tim Willits tweet was about the Game Awards thing again. He said, "It's exciting to get nomination for Horror Multiplayer Game Award, and look for news soon on the game as well." So again, it's a very vague response. You know, he's happy that obviously it's getting the multiplayer award, but you know, look for news soon on the game as well. And I really hope this is not going to be an announcement for the game coming to Game Pass on Nintendo Switch. I really hope it's a content announcement, but you know, we're sort of to build up some things here where, you know, we're actually going to be getting some news dropping on the game soon, and I hope maybe that's next week. Especially with TCM coming out just around the corner. And again, I'm not really a fan of saying like, oh, because, you know, TCM's doing this, Evil Dead's going to be doing this. You know, I'm not a fan of saying that. To be honest, it was a bit sus that they did like a double XP event when the tech test was happening on TCM. You know, from a business standpoint, it does make sense that you want to go against a competitor, you know, dropping an update while the new game comes out. At the end of the day, I think it's a very bizarre method, because people who want to play TCM will still play TCM regardless if Evil Dead gets an update. And I really hope, like I said, next week we get something announced that, you know, in a couple weeks time they're going to be dropping like, you know, a finale Ash, or we're going to be getting a new map, or we're going to get a new survivor. Something along those lines would be really cool. And then like, it will show that they're still kind of committed putting something into the game, or even a skin pack. However, if they're going to be an announcement where it's like, buy the game on a Nintendo Switch, or the game's coming to Xbox Game Pass. Yeah, Xbox Game Pass would be massive for this game. I can't emphasize that enough. However, it is not the time for Xbox Game Pass. You need to get some things in order before you put the game on Xbox Game Pass. The main thing that you need to do is remove Splatter Royale as the first game mode people see when they load the game up. If I'm new to the game and I just seen it on Xbox Game, oh, recently added to Xbox Game Pass, Evil Dead the game, oh, this looks cool, I'm going to check this out. I do not want to be pressing start. I don't want to hit play and having Splatter Royale thrown in my face as the first game mode, because people are going to think that's the main game mode. Everybody's playing that main game mode because it's the first one on the play part. And obviously, you know, people will explore a little bit, but if they're going to go before they even check out those other game modes, like the ASIM mode, playing as Demon, playing versus the Demon, they will look at Splatter Royale. And if they click Splatter Royale, they queue, and they don't find a game, they are not going to want to play the game. They're really not. And hopefully, I hope to God they do find the missions part, because at least then they can enjoy the missions and get a feel of the game and be like, oh wow, this looks pretty interesting. Of course, the first thing I think it forces you to do is play through the tutorials as well, so you get a little grasp of the game and how it looks and how it plays. So hopefully from the tutorials, people go to the missions and then they go to the ASIM mode. But like I said, you need a few things in order, and that's definitely one of like the quality of life things I need to see in the game, especially for new players. And then you need a rank system in place. You don't need an MMR, okay? You don't need a matchmaking rank system in this. You just need a basic rank system that people can grind to every month for a set amount of spirit points. So I kind of want to just be, you know, at the start of a season, I want to grind up to rank 1. Everyone that's in like that particular color of rank, and this happened on Dead by Daylight, and I still stand by that original rank system on Dead by Daylight was the best rank system that you can throw in an asymmetrical horror game. It doesn't make sense to have an MMR system that is designed around wins, losses, kills, anything like that. It's absolutely bizarre. Having like a sort of pip system that they had in Dead by Daylight for you to grind up, depending on the amount of points you earn in the game, you earn a certain amount of points, pips towards your rank. So you needed about 4 or 5 pips per rank. That way you can gain levels, and once you got into red ranks, you only queued up against people in red ranks. There was the odd occasion you get the lesser ranks of people who were in green or whatever like that. However, this led to more balanced gameplay for me, especially for solo queue. So if I solo queued on DBD with red ranks, they sort of knew what they were doing. There was the odd person who was carried there by their teammates who didn't deserve to be in that rank. That is totally fine. It was, to me, just a more balanced type of game style. When MMR come out on Dead by Daylight, I was in solo queue. I just kept getting put in with absolute noobs. You know, I'd be the one running the killer all the time, getting the unhooks, doing gens. I'd get put with teammates that would be sitting on gens, hiding around the map while the rest of the team did something. I die because I've been running the killer all game. You know, I'm on my last hook. I die at the end. I get loads of points. This person finishes bottom of the team, gets an escape. Their MMR increases, mine decreases. That to me did not make any sense. And that is how the rank system, the MMR system worked in Dead by Daylight. And I hated it. And it just led to the game being a lot more like totally unbalanced compared to the original rank system. And that is what we need to see in Evil Dead the game. We need that basic rank system where people like me, you get to rank 1, and the red rank like the red rank section being like, just say if 3, 2, and 1 was red rank or diamond, however you want to call it, you know, getting up to that higher SR rank. And then you just queue people in that similar boat. That way it leads to more balanced games. You know you're going to go up against a demon that has that kind of rank. You know you're going to play with survivors that have that rank. And then the people who are obviously lesser rank, who, you know, don't win every game because whatever, solo queue. However, you need to be judging the rank on your own merits. Like I said, it should be based on score per game. That'll be revives, damage, healing, anything like that. If you base it on that, you know, people do gain a few pips here and there. However, you know, if they don't get a certain amount on their score, they lose a pip and they'll D-rank. You know, designing something like that needs to be in place. Or at the very minimum, you've already got an MMR system built for the game. Re-enable it if you're going to put the game on Game Pass for new players, because we don't, as nice as it is for me streaming the game every day and not having to wait for a queue time, it's not fair on the new people that's coming to the game who have to go up against prestige characters. And again, that falls into another section that I'm not going to rant about too much in this video, is the prestige system, where it just totally inflates the balance of the game and it just messes it up completely. Prestige system, you know, that's for a whole other discussion, but you know how bad it is. Everyone watching this who's an Evil Dead fan who plays the game knows how bad the prestige system is for both sides. And so any new players that's just going to be joining the game will instantly just be very far behind the rest of the player base, who are already established as already established their characters and already have the advantages over the other side. And so that's just going to be totally unfair. Like I said, there's pros and cons to being on Game Pass right now. If they got it on Game Pass right now, at least they will get some more funding to pump some content into the game, which will be fine. So just to obviously round off the video, we'll be getting some news soon, at least. There's Tim Willits hinted there. And like I said, we've had probably some restructuring going on around the game. Maybe they're trying to get some plans in order to actually spur the game on to go forward and get some new content into it as well. So let's hope it's not the death of Evil Dead yet. Let's hope, you know, this game's got another year content strategy starting to throw out in place there. Obviously, with the Steam player count, that's probably turning a lot of people off, and turning Saber off from actually supporting the game. However, yes, the game's on Steam. I still think majority of PC players are on Epic Games Store just because there was no cross progression there. And that'll lead in about if they announce a Nintendo Switch release. If you're going to release it on Nintendo Switch, you need cross progression, because that's the only way I'm going to buy it on Switch. I'm not going to be starting all my prestige and characters all over again and rebuying everything. So you really need to have cross progression. And apparently someone said somewhere, maybe Cal responded to someone about that, about cross progression, saying it was impossible to add for this game. I don't know if that's true. That was just a rumor again going around. But honestly, it's 2023 and, you know, the game's been out for over a year. And if you're going to have it on all these platforms and you want to release it on Nintendo Switch and Steam, you need cross progression in place. You probably see the Steam sales go up quite a lot for the game if you can transfer your data from Epic Games Store to Steam, because a lot of people in the Epic Games Store want to get those achievements of the game. Obviously they don't exist on Epic Games Store, so that's what needs to happen. I want it to happen. I'd love to sit, you know, pick up my Switch right here, you know, load up Evil Dead the game, play some Pablo or something on my downtime away from my desk. I would love that. I really would. And that needs to happen before the game even looks at being on Switch. But, you know, I think Switch could just be a pipe dream at this point, even though it still says it's coming soon on their website. But like I said, look for news soon on the game as well. It's very vague from Tim Willits. We don't know what precisely that's going to be. So yeah, I'm just going to round the video off there, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Leave me a comment down below, let me know what you guys think of all this going around the game right now. Obviously about Saber US potentially shutting down, the condescending replies we're getting, the very vague stuff about news still, you know, the marketing is terrible. It still feels like, you know, Tim Willits, Evil Dead the game, Saber, they're all still dangling us by a thread, saying like, oh, we may update the game, we may not. It's a bit bizarre. But hit that sub button if you are new to the channel as well, for more Evil Dead content, more asymmetrical horror content. I'm planning on just making this channel completely horror focused, so I've got a few things in the works there. I just want to make a little announcement for everyone who follows me on a daily basis. You know, I will be moving house very, very soon. I get my keys next Friday. So Monday next week there won't be a stream. However, I will do my best to get some streams in while I'm busy moving my house. So the streams might be a bit here and there. I will apologize for that, but I will do my best to cover Evil Dead as much as possible as well, and a few other games, whatever I choose to stream on that day. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, hit that sub button if you're on the channel, and I've been Pixels, you are awesome viewers. I'll catch you guys in the next one.